Hi everyone, welcome to the Fortune Cookie Diaries by the Asian Jew. That's me, Marshall Bennett. I'm also a former wellness instructor at Stanford University. And for my very first video for Fortune Cookie Diaries, woohoo! I'm asking the question, what's holding you back? Because Fortune Cookie Diaries is all about self-development, wellness. So no matter what I talk about, either whether today or in the future, it always comes back to you as an individual. So to answer this question, I want to tell you a brief story, and it goes back to the late 2000s when I was actually still a student, when I was a graduate student at my campus, and I took this workshop over the summer. It was a design thinking workshop, and there were about 30 other graduate students just like myself. And on the very first day, all of us we were sitting in a circle, and this is following our introducing ourselves and doing nice icebreakers and like, oh, hi, nice to meet you, giggles, you know what I mean? There were three facilitators for our workshop. One of them was Bernie, and he comes into the middle of the circle, and he asks us this very simple question. He's like, so what are some goals or things that you would like to achieve in your life? And one person raised his hand, who I actually later became friends with later, and he says, well, man, I'd really like to run a marathon, just a full marathon. And, Bernie shakes his head and, asks inquisitively, okay. And he says, okay, so what's stopping you from doing this? And he's like, well, I have this knee problem. And in order for me able to run a full marathon, I would have to get surgery. And that's going to be just very painful, etc. And Bernie says, bullshit. We're like, whoa! The whole class was like, whoa, what just happened, right? And we were just all in shock when Bernie said this because one, he just swore. Not that I don't think swearing is always necessarily a big deal, but also just because he just challenged my buddy because he answered Bernie's question and he gave a reason why it seemed like a legitimate reason why he can't achieve this, right? So Bernie, after things calmed down, he then asked, well, is there anyone else who would like to share their goals? And another person raised their hand, and he says, well, I would like to go to Iceland. And it was kind of said in a way where it's like, okay, I think this might be a little bit lower and easier than trying to run a marathon, right? And Bernie then asks, okay, so what's holding you back from this? And the student says, well, I got to finish my dissertation work. I got to work in the lab and write papers, etc. And then Bernie says, bullshit. And everyone's like, whoa, what happened again, man? You need to calm down, right? And then Bernie, by this time, he understands what's going on, kind of the general mood. And he says this, I understand you guys' reaction. I understand what you're saying. But it really comes down to this, he says. If you have a goal and it really means that much to you, you would find a way to do it. You would do anything you can to achieve it if it really meant that much to you. And that is the point right there. It's extremely simple. But actually, just think about this. Even outside the context of this story, we know individuals who are very public figures who achieved great things in their life despite the odds against them. Just for example, individuals such as Tom Cruise or Richard Branson, who both have dyslexia, but have gone on to become, giants in their industry, excuse me. Actors got to read that script, right? And a entrepreneur, they got to write a business plan, right? Another individual, Chris Gardner, who was in the film and wrote his book called The Pursuit of Happiness. This guy, he came from absolutely nothing. This poor man, he was living in bathroom stalls with his kid. But he then later on, he become a multimillionaire as a successful stockbroker. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, oh, yeah, whatever, Marsh, it's, very simple. But really think about the totality of this, about this principle. And if you're doubting me on this, do this. I try this out for 2 weeks. Every day, do something that you're afraid of. Do something that you're afraid of that scares you. Within reason, though. I don't want you hurting yourself. Okay? So, for example, it could be like talking to a stranger at the grocery store, or even as high as, reaching out to a celebrity who you really admire and start emailing them, right? I actually did this once before. I emailed Michelle Kwan. I was able to get her email address, and I really wanted to talk to her just because I really admired her as an athlete. Michelle Kwan, she's the former Olympic skater, and then she transitioned into the field of diplomacy, and I thought that was just a great story. But I actually did this, and that really scared the crap out of me in order to do this. But my point is, in doing this exercise, you would then be able to see how you are actually able to empower yourself to achieve things, no matter how small or how great. And then you will also be able to see just how much you are responsible in your life to achieve these things. That's what it really comes down to, okay? You stand in the way of achieving your goals. It doesn't matter what the limitations are. It doesn't matter what sort of excuses you come up with. And I'm a really strong believer in this, okay? So I'm going to stop here, and I'll just tell you on the last note, if you're really interested in Bernie, and learning more from him, he has a book. It's called The Achievement Habit. Stop Wishing, Start Doing, and Take Command of Your Life by Bernard Roth. And you can find it on Amazon, all the usual suspects in terms of book purchasing online. Okay, so that's it. So this is my first video. Please follow me and like me. There's going to be much more of this kind of material, later on. I'd be really ecstatic to hear from you. Leave your comments, suggestions, thoughts, what have you. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. Be well, guys, and best of luck to you guys. All right, bye-bye.